fair, what is justice, and what is oppression. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards obedience and He punishes disobedience. He does not oblige His slaves in excess of their abilities. من عدالة الله سبحانه وتعالى بالذي هو لا يكلف الناس إلا وسعه، لا يكلف نفسه إلا وسعه، لا يوجد تكليف إلا بحسب قابلياتنا. He does not do in excess or in shortage. لا يوجد عنده تفريط ولا إفراط. He does not exceed and he does not stop short of something. He is the wisest and acts in accordance with his wisdom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala هو الحكيم ويفعل بحسب حكمته. He does not punish us more than we deserve. لا يظلمون إلا لا يظلمون or something. So He does not punish. Whenever if let us say if we do some haram that is worth let us say 1 year of punishment, Allah is going to give us only 1 year of punishment for that. You do that much haram, He gives you only that much of punishment. But what about reward? He does reward in excess, and this is fair. Why? Because هذا من فضل الله سبحانه وتعالى. Because He says in the Quran that I will give you reward between 10 and up to 700 for something. And for some deeds, He gives even in excess of that. Yeah? So He may reward in excess. He may even reward when you don't do. If you have an intention, مجرد نية عندك يسوي عمل صالحة, الله يجزيك. حتى إذا رجعت انقلبت لا تستوي. قلت خلي ننظف الكابيتال مال نفسية بعدين بطلت ما هو. بس الله يعطيك. على حسب النية. And that's من عدالة الله سبحانه وتعالى. When it comes to Kabir and Hasan, okay, we said okay, Allah is fair. But can Allah do something bad? Or does He do always good? That's the question. هل Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يفعل كبير أم يفعل حسن? What about good and bad? Does Allah do bad? We say He never does anything bad. Allah لا يفعل كبير. وهذا من عدالة الله سبحانه وتعالى. Does He leave out good? يترك الحسن? لا يترك الحسن. He never leaves out good. He always does what is best. What about some bad that happens to some? مرات نشوف شيء قبيح صارت لي واحد. We say this is for the greater good. We say there is a greater good behind that. If something bad, it seems to us that something bad hasn't happened to me or something bad happened to somebody, it's a greater good. For instance, sometimes you see some people say, what about the tsunami in Indonesia? So many Muslims died. Is that fair? We say yes. This is fair. Those people have been created. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah creates people when He wishes, the way He wishes. He killed them when He wishes, the way He wishes. And He rewards them. If they suffer, He rewards them in proportion. If they suffer a little bit, we know there is a narration that even when we suffer a little bit, even a small illness that we go through, very, very small illness, it is forgiveness of our bad deeds, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us some good points because of that. We hear sometimes this expression, so many children died, so many children have died, you know. How come Allah punishes innocent? Nasta'īz billah. Subhanallah, nasta'īz billah, from using this expression, we can hear it this day. Innocence. As if we won't use this word. We won't say somebody innocent unless somebody accuses him of being in court of law. Can I go to court of law and say that, let's say, look, this man is innocent? No, you can't. Somebody, there has to be accusation. So we will come against this accusation and we say he is innocent. Where is the accusation here? Before we call somebody innocent, say, why these innocent children are being punished? Why to call them innocent? Is there accusation? Are we accusing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We have to be very, very careful here, brothers. If Allah takes a child away, we know that Allah prepares for him the better. This is the best to do. The best for this child. Unfortunately, our vision is limited. We cannot see in the future. We cannot see ghaib. We don't know what is going on. So our vision is very, very limited. We only can see these circumstances. And we look at that, and in our ignorance, we think that it's tough, it is dhulm, it is oppression. But subhanallah, Allah is adil, and Allah does what is the best for His slaves. Allah يعمل بالذي هي أحسن بالنسبة إلى عباده. Even the flu, even when we have a flu and we suffer a bit, we know we have a narration from Prophet ﷺ. We know Allah will forgive some sins بحسب هذا الفلو. بسبب هذا الفلو, Allah will forgive some sins, or He will reward us. Why are we so certain that Allah does the best? Why this certainty? And why is that? Maybe Allah most of the times does best, and sometimes He does something bad, punishes somebody. We say, because Allah knows what is the best. Allah يعرف بالذي ماذا هي حسن وماذا هي أحسن. Because Allah is in no need to do bad and will not benefit from that. لأن الله لا يوجد عنده حاجة للقبيح. Allah يعرف حسن, لا يوجد عنده حاجة للقبيح, ولا يستفيد من فعل القبيح, because he has no need to avoid good. He's in no need to avoid good. Because good will do no harm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قبيح ما يضر الله سبحانه وتعالى. And because He is the wisest of all, لأنه هو الحكيم, hence His actions have to conform with wisdom. ولذلك لأنه هو الحكيم يفعل بحسب حكمته. Because of that, we have this certainty that Allah does the best. Let us prove it. Let us prove it from what is called proof from opposite. This is the very, very simple mathematical proof. When in mathematics we want to prove something, let us say we want to prove that this is not a glass. How we prove it? We say, look, glass holds the water. If it was glass, it could hold the water. Because it does not hold the water, this is not a glass. So that's the way to prove from opposite. So that's the way we are going to prove that Allah does hasan and never does anything bad. He does always everything good and never does anything bad. What if we suggest that Allah may be unfair, simply unfair, and do something bad to us? If we make this suggestion that Allah could be unfair, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, نستعيذ بالله, إذا نفرض بالذي الله سبحانه وتعالى هو الظالم ويعمل بالقبيح, then هذا يستلزم واحد من أربعة. Then this would bring one of the four conclusions. One of the four. Either he does not know that it is bad or unfair and does that unknowingly. أول احتمال هو جاهل بالحسن أم جاهل بالعدالة ما يعرف إلا بهذا القبيل وجاي يحفظه. This is first. Second, he does know but is forced to do it. ثاني هو يعرف بالقباحة أم بالظلم بس مجبور يفعله. Third, he does not know, he is not forced but is in need. ثالث يعرف مش مجبور بس في احتياج لها عنده حاجة لها يفعل القضية. Fourth, he does know, he's not forced, he is not in need, but he does it for the crack of it, you know. He's having a fun, you know. رابع هو يعرف مش مجبور مش في الحاجة بس يعمل لا للعب واللهو. كيف؟ We say that all the above mentioned are impossible في الله سبحانه وتعالى. نقول بالذي الله سبحانه وتعالى من هذا الأرض. Any of these four conclusions would require imperfection in essence. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfection itself. And He is above all these fours. أي واحد من هذا الأربعة يستلزم النقصان. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala هو المحض الكمال. ولذلك هو منزه من هذا، منزه من جهالة، ومنزه من إجبار، ومنزه من حاجة، ومنزه من لهو ولعب. ولذلك the conclusion is that this is not a glass. Conclusion is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never ever do anything that is dhulm or qadih. Anything that is oppression or anything that is bad. He would always do adl wal hasan. He would always do justice, he would always do fair, and he would always do the best, whatever is the best option. Suggestions. Now be careful here. Suggestions or belief that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may be imperfect, or He may do bad, or unfair, or leave out good, or justice, or punish believers, or rewards in non-believers, is blasphemy itself. And those who hold this belief fall out of Iman. They are outside of Iman. And they are outside of community of Iman, as we know it. إذا واحد عنده عقيدة بالذي الله سبحانه وتعالى عنده نقصان، أم هو يعمل بالظلم، أم يعمل بالقبيح، أم بالذي هو يعذب حسنة فعل الحسن والمؤمنين، أم بالذي هو يجزي في الآخرة الكافرين، هذه العقيدة هي كفر. والذي يحمل هذه العقيدة هو يصير بحسب عقيدته، يعني يقع في خارج الإيمان.